For many of us and our families, the stay-at-home orders have placed maybe a strain on financial, emotional, and relationship health.
Parents are juggling work responsibilities alongside with their child care and teaching for some of them. So in today's Relationship Reboot, we Skyped with our relationship guru, Dr. Shonda Craft, on how to balance that at-home work-life balance.
Thanks for joining us, Shonda. We really appreciate it, and it's so important right now because all of the things we've been doing to try to have work versus home life balance is out the window when home and work is all the same place, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
So what are some of the barriers for folks as they try to navigate this time?
Well, we know that a lot of people are trying to basically establish a new normal, and for some people that's going to look like trying to do exactly what they were doing before, everything that they were doing before. So having these expectations about how productive you're going to be, that you're going to be able to work at the same level that you were working before, is definitely a barrier to people being able to find balance. We also know that people are feeling pretty out of control right now in some situations.
Yeah.
Things are changing from day to day, week to week. And so for people who are maybe used to having a little bit more stability and structure in their lives, having to kind of, play life on the fly or play new roles that they aren't normally used to has also created a barrier for people feeling like they're having good life balance. And we also know that that can affect how we feel emotionally, right? So some people may feel sad, they may feel confused, they may feel very frustrated, and that also creates a barrier then for us to be able to feel like we're having a successful and productive life.
And then there's this whole uncertainty around how long is this all going to last, and what might it look like in 1 month or 2 months or 5 months?
Absolutely. And the inability to really be able to plan ahead can really create this sense of a loss of control in people. And we know that control can be important, especially, again, if we're trying to get work done, if we're trying to establish a routine, a schedule, keep our kids interested and motivated to do what they need to do. If we as adults are struggling, we can probably bet that our kids might be struggling too.
So Shonda, you've put together a couple of tips to help people stay strong while they're working at home. What's your first tip?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that first tip is really about productivity and being okay with knowing that you might not get as much work done as you normally do. Whether that is your kids and their schoolwork or just you and your own work as an adult, just being really honest with yourself about what your capacity is and being honest with other people as well about what you can and can't do.
Important to express that, right? To say, hey, boss or teacher or spouse, like
kid,
like I cannot do all of this and feel okay with saying that.
Right, absolutely. It's okay to ask for help as well. This is not a time for us to be working in isolation, at home. We really need to pull in our spouses, our partners, our kids, and really kind of create a team approach. Put together a routine that really works for everyone. It may not look the same as it did 3 months ago or 6 months ago. So trying to figure out how do we structure our lives now to do the things that we need to do as well as the things that we want to do.
This also gives some families, though, an opportunity for that connection that maybe the time wasn't available before doing that. I mean, in terms of communicating with your family and then really trying to come together and connect with each other.
Absolutely. It is still really important to have a routine that allows everybody to have some downtime. That includes alone time. And so taking that time that maybe you normally would have in a commute and, listening to a podcast, reading a book, taking a walk, but also pulling the family together or whoever's in your household and just really appreciating all of the extra time that you maybe have now together. You're not running to dance practice or soccer practice or, numerous civic organizations or different groups and things like that. Really take that time to figure out how can we spend time together as a family in a way that doesn't get on each other's nerves and also allows everybody to kind of have their own space at the same time.
Great advice. Really good stuff there, Shonda. Thank you.